Usman versus Buckley. Fight night, Atlanta, boys. Woo! Hotlanta, summer hot. Oh my god, I can't breathe. Let's start with Usman Buckley immediately. F going through bottom up. Usman looked great. We're gonna go to the other stuff later, of course. Woo! Usman. Oh my word. Okay. I think most people probably thought that Buckley would win. Either a competitive fight, maybe Usman looks good early, gets finished later, or Buckley just runs through him, whatever. Even if you thought Usman would win, which I kind of started to go to, not making excuses, I picked Buckley, I was wrong. But the more like I saw interviews from Usman and him at the weigh-in, like Usman looks, we talk about ring rust and everything, but for someone with so many title fights, active, and inactivity, being off for like a year and a half plus, whatever, can probably be good for some people, especially Usman with not good knees, many lingering injuries, and did he have knee surgery? Like between like in his hiatus, whatever. Usman. I don't think anybody talked about Usman just going in there and. When was the last time Usman just wrestle-fucked someone? Was it Woodley? It was Woodley, right? Colby stand-up. Masvidal almost against the clinching against the cage, right? Burns stand-up. Masvidal stand-up in a KO. Colby stand-up. Of course, he hasn't. That was his last win before this one. The Colby rematch back in MSG in 2021. Yeah, crazy. Usman going in and dominating in the grappling. I know Colby took him down, and that I would imagine Usman looked at Colby getting Buckley down even like once and thinking, oh, Colby can? Like lightweight Colby, who fights at welterweight. So Usman probably thought like, dude, I can with my strength, with my power. It makes sense. I was and still am so impressed by Usman. The thing is, I want to think about this and like, yeah, Usman's a beast. He's the GOAT. He's just going up on my GOAT list. Get him on the pound for pound list, all this hype. I know less hype, whether he deserves it or not, like F. Brady and everything. Do Islam Usman for the belt, or JDM, I guess. But Usman, we gotta get to Usman Islam, that would be insane. Crazy. But, not even a big but. I wanna stay in this hype and be like, yeah, let's go Usman. I'm getting so annoyed because just like a few days ago he did a podcast with Adesanya and they just talked about the DDP thing again, and I wasn't a big fan of Usman at all during his title reign. When he lost the belt, I immediately started to like him again because I don't know, he just the way he, I was always a Colby guy, and I'm a guy that's, hard in the same way. Like, to me, if you're big, like, you can be a fan of Conor, that's one thing. But if you're like a die-hard Conor McGregor fan, you love him, he's like your number 1, 2 guy in MMA, then like you're just not a Khabib fan. If you're a die-hard Conor fan, kind of say if Colby's like your guy at welterweight, it's hard to be like a big fan of Usman. You just want big fights, and Masvidal Colby for the belt, like, come on. But Usman was in the way. So and seeing Liam head kicking was was fantastic. But you know, I started liking him, and then he says some. Then the whole Adesanya DDP stuff starts happening, and he's like, you know, you should think about what you say, and like he didn't say anything wrong. And like, oh fuck Usman again, and then you know he steps up on short notice against Usman, and I'm like, oh my god, and against Chimaev, oh my god, and he survives the first round. You know, gets to his feet, spikes himself and Chimaev, you know, on their heads. Into the mat. I'm like, oh my god, and and then you goes to battle for the second round, third round, and that should have been a draw. 10-8 in the first, absolutely. Second and third was to Usman, so it was sad seeing him getting robbed there. And you know, after the fight against Chimaev, now you know he went from being like in many people's eyes the welterweight GOAT, you know, on this insane run, you know, long win streak, hadn't lost in many years. And he, after the Chimaev loss, he was on a 3-fight losing streak. And he did a backstage interview, I believe, with Megan O'Leary, and he was like crying and, you know, trying to hold it together. And I felt so sorry for Usman, and I saw him as such a badass going up to middleweight short notice against Chimaev, having the performance as he did at the older age, you know, his knees just getting like worse and everything. But then during his time off, you know, he had that rant with Cejudo about black people, and if me and you, if you get pulled over in the US and I get pulled over, who do they? He started going on someone like getting pulled over by the cops, and you know the police, the cops treating him different. You know, this BLM stuff again, and I'm like, oh fuck Usman again. You know, every time I hear something with him and Adesanya or, you know, anything like that, but no, the Three Kings, all that shit. Like, good job getting the UFC to Africa. That really worked. So you know, fuck Usman again, but seeing him this week, I saw some hate on Usman, but I was like, this is cool, this is hype. I was like more excited for this fight than O'Malley Merab last weekend. So yeah, now I'm like, I just don't want to think about all that. I'm so hyped about Usman's performance, just dominating in the grab, just taking him down at will so easily. And first of all, I'm so pissed and annoyed at. For me, it's the emotions with the Edwards Usman fights has really switched around, because now I just feel so irritated and salty about the Edwards the Edwards wins against Usman. You know, him getting, you know, 1 in a million lucky head kick on Usman, and then you know, winning in the, you know, like, sorry, this Usman that we saw here wasn't the Usman we saw in the trilogy with Edwards. It just wasn't. As maybe was it in the last video I did? Maybe I said it. It hasn't been. I haven't posted that yet. Sorry. Sometimes you get in the head. You know, you're not always on a 10. Sometimes you wake up, you know, you're on a 6, your opponent's on a 4, or your opponent here, you here, blah 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 blah. Everyone has different days, you know. We see sick performances for people one day, and the other day they look shit, like injuries, everything. Sometimes you just wake up and you're not on. It's just not your day, your night, whatever. Your fight to win. So who knows? Like, honestly, seeing it feels like this Usman would beat the current Edwards, because just looking at Leon Edwards right now, I mean, who does he beat, honestly? So I'm just salty about that, but it's so annoying that he lost those, but it is what it is. And also, I'm very good at this, and I know many other MMA fans, UFC fans are very good at this also. Let's not make this about Buckley's shit. He was overrated. His takedown defense suck. Were the guys he just ran through was he on like a 6-fight win streak at welterweight, like, you know, undefeated in the UFC welterweight division. Impressive, very impressive. And was the guys that he just fought, like Luke, Wonderboy, Colby, were they in their prime? No. has Luque still showed afterwards, like his KO at the end of last year, and still, looking decent against Kevin Holland, landing some shots and everything. Still looking, like not far from peak Luque. They're still aggressive, still throwing bombs and everything. And we just saw Wonderboy, doing great against Shavkat, taking him up and bit on the feet, showing great takedown defense. Before that, schooling Kevin Holland. And yeah. And, even Colby got Buckley down and showed his toughness. He could still take shots and keep going. So still the win streak Buckley went on up to Usman was very impressive. TKOing Luque, knocking out Wonderboy, stopping Colby. Amazing win streak. Of course, there's other people. I think there was like one guy at least between Luque and Wonderboy. Because Buckley has been very active and good on him. But, the thing is, Buckley has shown that he can defend good takedowns before. So I think, yes, we should credit, not shit on Buckley. Buckley's still great. He can still beat many guys at the top. He's dangerous everywhere. You still saw in this fight, especially in the 5th round, where maybe Usman was slowing down. I don't know. He, of course, didn't get, I believe Buckley defended 2 takedowns and then started to throw bombs at Usman. Yeah. So Buckley's not bad at all. And Usman just looked great. I mean, the best offensive wrestling we've seen from him. Arguably since I guess the Woodley fight. He got Edwards downloads. But just great performance from Woodley. Not much else to say really from Usman. As he said in the post-fight Octagon interview, he it's his first fight back, and he he wants to get the hands going a bit more, and we saw in the fight he didn't it looked like a very smart strategy, letting Buckley move and throw bombs, just staying just out of the way. Many of the bombs Buckley threw, Usman just blocked or barely landed. So great defensive work and smart moving around from Usman, and then just great timings with the takedown and got them very easily. So great. Very much tired. Yeah. Looking at the other fights, I'm gonna get back to Usman and Buckley soon. What people they should fight next. Ooh, is my phone correct here? I think so. So, Rose, nothing special there. Why did she leave Trevor Whitman? I don't know. Why don't I have the computer? I don't know why Rose left Trevor Whitman. Pat Barry, oh my god, she won. Decision, always women's fight decision. Edmar Sebastian, okay, I don't care. If he lose to GM3, I don't care. Okay, he won the decision. Cody, what is Cody doing? Cody is just disgracing his career. He didn't have an amazing bantamweight legacy, but just look where he came from. If undefeated, beating Thomas Almeida, Takeya Misakaki, I believe he finished both. Having that legendary performance against Dominic Cruz, beating the bantamweight GOAT, becoming the undefeated, undisputed bantamweight champion. Then going, on that big rival, that big feud, and those 2 big bantamweight fights against TJ Dillashaw. Of course, losing, but still. From all of that, then losing to Munoz, beating Asansa, but a year between every fight. A year later, he got smacked up for 5 rounds against Font. 6 months later, got knocked out in the first round by Kai France. He did he come back? I believe 2 years. No, over a year later, in like the first few months of 2023, he came back, got 2 wins, but then of course he got submitted in the first round by Figueiredo. Was that the last time we saw him? Oh, my nose. Sorry. Oh no. Anyway, Cody's done. I'm done with Cody. Did I pick Cody? I did pick Cody. But the problem is, he hurt Barcelos several times, didn't he? He hurt Barcelos several times, dropped him even, and he stands there. Does this like taunting and like, dude, you're not even ranked. Like you have disgraced your own career. Try to finish the old Barcelos. Like, what are you doing? So he deserved to lose. I saw something. Did people think it was a robbery? I don't know. Whether it was a robbery or not, I'm glad Cody lost. Retire, dude. Like, what the... So Mansour finished Cody Brundage, but then apparently it was a head clash. It went to decision. Who cares? Black guy won in Atlanta. Hey. Manyfield beat C. Trash fight. Oh my god, this fight. Paul Craig. So he moved back up to lightweight. Good on him. I didn't even realize, but I heard Paul Craig say it in his in the press conference. Jesus Christ! After the fight, that he moved back up to light heavyweight. But oh, did he? Okay, I didn't care, didn't notice. And first, I just looked about. Okay, he illegally kicked Bellato in the head. And then I watched like the replay or from a different angle or a different clip channel, whatever. And you see him when he goes down. Ref, what? the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. Do the rematch maybe? I don't know. Bellato doing a Sterling. What a disgrace to the sport. Like, what are you doing? Can't even like... Imagine faking getting KO'd to get, a DQ win against Paul Craig. Like Paul Craig laid on the ground, like you were already beating him up. Like, oh my god. Michael Chiesa. Is he on a 3-fight win streak now in 2025? I don't. Give him to a killer and kill him off and then fire him. Like, they're probably paying him so much compared to what he's worth. And he's still fighting for some reason. And did he say, I saw like a headline, did he say in his post-fight press, like it's just like stupid or unnecessary or something to call out Colby? Like you don't... I'm not saying Colby deserves much. He should probably fight Ian Gary, let's hype. But like, if Colby's returning, don't put him against Chiesa. Like, why? Chiesa, you won, but you don't deserve any credit. You weird-looking freak. I was right about Wellmaker winning. Jose Ochoa, Ricky Simone. Jourdain pulled out. Not my fault. I did a video before he pulled out. Yeah. And Vanessa Demopoulos, who twerks or whatever, she lost. I think I picked that. So! Who cares about that? I'm just going to go with Buckley and Usman, who their next opponent should be. This is logical, good matchmaking for me. Usman, he should fight Sean Brady. I want to see him versus Islam very, very much. Usman has hyped it. Even JDM, of course. I want to see Usman fight for the belt. That would be really cool. But if we move away a bit from what I want and what like makes sense, what I've hated for such a long time now, or for a bit at least, at welterweight, I don't know if people are too inactive. I mean, Shavkat never fights. We don't see Brady much. Leon fights like once a year. Usman hadn't fought like since 2023. Buckley and Gary are active, but that's like 8 of the top 10. So like we have had like 4 number 1 contenders or whatever. JDM just beat Belal. So we just had, JDM was a contender, but of course he beat Belal. So currently, after Usman beating Buckley, or people that are like in talks for title shots are Brady, Shavkat, Usman, Gary. That's 4 guys. Ian Gary don't deserve it. He's not even top 10. But of course, there's talks. He said, he was the backup, and he fought both Shavkat and Carlos Prates on short notice. He got promised the title shot by the UFC, kind of, but the UFC hasn't really denied it. So there's talk about Gary getting it. Of course, Usman now has a good chance getting it, being the biggest name, just dominating Buckley. Big return. Will probably move up to 4 or 3, depending on in the rankings. Shavkat, of course, undefeated. Has beaten everybody. Is number 3. Yes, we don't know really his injury status, I believe. And Sean Brady, of course, number 2, and is the guy that should the next title fight should be JDM and Brady. If you look at who deserve the title shot after dominating Edwards, who just like not long ago held the belt, and is number 2 currently. Brady is clear number 1, but so we have 4 guys there that are in talks. Just take out, like, Gary isn't even in. Gary should fight like there's many options for Gary. You can argue you do Buckley Gary, but Buckley should probably, I'm gonna get to Buckley. Buckley should probably fight someone down. But Gary Edwards, they have beef. A striking matchup that makes great amount of sense. UK Fight Night headliner Edwards Gary, amazing. You could even do Gary versus Belal. So there's options for Gary, or even you do something like Gary. Yeah, there's options. We don't even really know the Shavkat situation. Shavkat, when he returns, great amount of sense makes. It makes sense for Belal to fight Shavkat, or even Shavkat Leon would be cool, etc. So if we don't know Shavkat's situation, he's injured. Gary can fight Edwards or whatever. He's not worthy. He's not in the top 10. You have Brady at number 2, Usman at number 5, probably moves up to number 4. The thing is, if you do that fight, then you have a clear number 1 contender. It doesn't matter who wins, Brady or Usman. The winner will be number 1, I would imagine, number 1 and number 2. And they would be the clear number 1 contender over Shavkat, over. It doesn't matter if Belal has gotten a win, Edwards has gotten a win, Gary has gotten 1 win. Clear number 1 contender fight, Brady Usman. Book it, great fight. What happens? Who knows? That's the fight to make. And for Buckley, yeah. Of course, what was it? Buck versus the cock. Gary Buckley. But Gary, he wants title shot. He won't fight down. Buckley probably. I don't know if Buckley should get an opponent above him after getting dominated like that. But just one step, one ranking below Buckley. Buckley is number 7, so number 8, one step below him is Michael Morales. Makes sense. He just beat Gilbert Burns, that finished him. He's undefeated, I believe. It just makes a lot of sense. Also because I don't want to see. I looked down, so you could do Buckley, Burns, Jeff Neal, anything like that. But I don't want to see Buckley against more like older guys. Like even if you count Luke out of his prime, or older Wonderboy, older Colby. I want to see Buckley how he does like. And even Usman, older guy, but he lost, of course. I want to see, I guess, like a top 10 young guy coming up. I believe Michael Morales, is he only like 25? He's young, undefeated, finished Magny, finished Burns now. I think that's the fight. He just fought, so their schedule. I don't think neither Buckley or Morales took much damage in their fights. So Buckley, if you want to stay active and shit, like they could do it in 3 months, but realistically, like 4 months, could be 5, but 4 or 5 months. Buckley versus Morales could be added to. You could add that to any pay-per-view main card. Of course, Brady Usman, great on the pay-per-view, great fight night headliner. Buckley Morales, could that be? Is that a good? Of course, for today's standards, it's great, but is it a good legit main event? Michael Morales, Buckley, probably an Apex main event. So yeah, I think that's the pretty obvious, like, if you just think about logical, very good matchups. Brady, Usman, Buckley, Morales. Amazing. And to the last point, as we did the last time, for the first time, in the end of every recap fight card video, who should be fired? And I'm so tired, I'm not gonna drag this on. Cody Garbrandt. I mean, he probably earns a lot of money from the UFC. Take that money, put it somewhere. I don't care about Cody anymore. He has disgraced his career, just loses, knocks someone down, hurts them. I'm done. Coming in here, having a Paddy Pimblett haircut. Also, like, I don't know, a tattoo like his Anakin Skywalker. I don't know. I'm done with Cody, man. That's it. Fire him. No one cares about him. There's no hype, not even if he fights Raul Rosas Jr. He fought Peyton Talbot. He talked about fighting O'Malley next. Like, go F yourself, Cody.